Good evening. I'm back. We're going to do a sketch or a drawing, not quite sure which yet, in my book here. I can go ahead and do this side, I think. Let me erase the parts that came across from the bird I drew on that other side to the pencil drawing on this side. Kind of broke through that perforation a little bit, but you know what, I was planning on doing a pencil drawing, but I might just do pen because then I know I'm not going to go across onto the other one. And this is a medium tip calligraphy pen that I was gifted back in Christmas time. So what am I going to draw? Let's just start drawing. I'll just start drawing shapes. And then we will add in some, I'm just going to make this abstract. Going to have a little bit of everything in here. How are you guys doing tonight? Feel free to let me know in the comments. And let's see. I'm doing pretty good. Feeling a little better. If I start coughing, I will pause the video, but hopefully I won't. So let's see, what do we see here? I mean, we don't have to see anything. It's abstract. If it is abstract, truly, then it's kind of whatever you see is what it is. I like making shapes and just kind of playing with it. I have been working on stuff today. I was helping my daughter with some horns for a cosplay, for a costume she's going to be wearing. And so I'm doing a lot of wire work, and she was working with clay, and I almost brought wire, over here to work on something that I'm currently trying to finish, but I didn't. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow, because I am going to complete a few pieces tomorrow. I also need to work on some thumbnails for someone else and get those out. I've got another drawing or painting, jewelry. Probably gonna be doing a few things and then see what he wants. So we've got, I don't know. You ever had one of those times when it's like you've got stuff to get done, you know you got to get it done, and you really do want to, but you're just feeling like it's not going to turn out right? I think that's what has been happening. But then whenever I actually get them done, it's like, what was I worried about? So that's one of my goals, is to just get the thing done, not even really think about it, just do it. Because otherwise, you know, things don't get done. And they just hang over your head, and then it becomes this whole, you know, knell. I don't know. Kind of hard to explain. I'm guessing there's someone out there that understands what I'm saying. I know because I've talked to other people, like in real life, about it, and they have the same thing. So I know it's not just me. So let me know in the comments if you've had the same, I don't know if I'd call it a fear, but same, what do you call it? Self-imposed limitations, I guess, would be the way to put it. And that's been something I've struggled with like all my life. So this is about the time to get rid of it, right? And I know that whenever I actually get the thing done, it's worth it. It's been worth it. And I've learned a lot, even if it doesn't turn out exactly the way I want it to, I've still learned a lot. And so that's nice. And then I can take that into the next project, the next piece, the next challenge. And then it keeps you from resting on your laurels too, when you do something that you thought you couldn't do, or you thought you couldn't do well, and then you do it, and instead of just like, it's easy to just kind of, you know, keep looking back at that because it's something you completed and you liked it. But the best thing to do is to keep doing the work. I think it was it Andy Warhol that said something to the effect of do the work and then when it's done, let others discuss whether it's good or bad, but meanwhile move on to the next thing. And the important thing is to do the work. So that is what I am choosing to do. And I'd love to build a community here of like-minded people that if you'd like to post in my community tab, you know, something you're working on, we can all discuss things together. We can give you kudos or encouragement. We can give advice and receive advice, and just be a community of like-minded artists or creators or crafters, whatever it is that you do. And I think that would be a very good thing for my art community here. Let's see here, what am I going to do on this one? I want to start adding a little bit of detail here. I think that'll be good. Sometimes you just need to put your head down and do it. Okay. I'm actually liking how this is looking. Not that I expected not to. I mean, it's very, I'm pretty good about just letting it flow and letting it, you know, move and just kind of put everything down. Just keep drawing, keep painting, and then sit back and kind of look at it. And no matter what, I mean, I consider just the doing to be a success. And I usually, at least sort of, like what has come of my time working in a sketchbook or on a canvas or on a piece of jewelry or whatever it is. I never regret time spent creating or drawing. It's very calming. It's a very good thing. And I think it helps you to sort out your thoughts, to kind of process the day, process anything that may be going on, and think through things to, move on into. I think that we don't give ourselves enough time to think about things. And I know that it's useful. I used to sit and, before I had a phone or a computer, or any of those, I remember just sitting and writing, drawing, doing something. And I know that they've come out with studies saying that it's so important to keep doing traditional things, like actually putting pen to paper, actually putting paint to canvas, brush to canvas, pulling out an actual physical book and reading, or an actual physical journal and writing. And I think that's something that we've lost, and I think it's something that a lot of people are actually missing now. Like, they're actually thinking about it and they're missing it. And I think that is a good thing to get back to. There's something about the act of of just doing something that is not on a screen. I say this as you're watching it on a screen of some sort, but the actual act of creation of it is very useful. Doing a lot of lines. Let's do something else here. I think I will do, that's kind of lines as well, but it's spirally lines. Does that count? I used to draw a whole bunch of just designs, and then, I don't know, doing black ink, and then after that they started coming out with, or maybe it existed before then, it probably did, but I had never heard of it. They started coming out with Zentangles and all that kind of stuff. All that kind of stuff. Oh, old man yells at cloud. Is that me now? In my day. Okay, but for real, I would just pull out paper and pen and just start, putting lines down, making shapes, and then you add your different textures. And like I said, I know they call it, you know, a lot of people call it different things. There's different types, but a lot of people do zins and tangles, and I always just called it doodling. And then I started having people tell me, hey, I didn't know you did zin tangles, and I'm like, I don't. And they're like, well, that's what that is. I'm like, no, this is just me doodling. And that probably was part of me ceasing to do that for a while, because I was always kind of ornery in that way. If someone told me what I was doing, gave it a name that other people were using, I didn't want to do it anymore. I'm weird. Okay. I think a lot of us are weird that way though, but I don't know. I was always one of those people that if everyone else had the same thing, like they had the same dress or purse or whatever, I wasn't real happy with that. And I know there always have been people that, you know, they're excited when other people have the same thing that they do, but that was not me. I've always been called kind of weird for that, but if that makes me weird, I guess so be it. I like being different. And when I was younger, there was probably a lot more of being different just for the sake of being different, but now it's more, I prefer to have things that are, you know, one of a kind or customized by me, you know, something that not just everybody has, not everybody does. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? Okay, what can I do here? If I put these guys kind of close to each other, and see, and I'm using just one size of ink pen, calligraphy marker right now, calligraphy pen, I don't know, what do you call that? And so I can't really adjust shapes. Can't really adjust the size. I did bring this one as well. It is a gray. Let's see what the difference is. Where are we going to put this? Nope, that is very dark gray, but it is skinnier. So, okay, it's not exactly what I wanted to do, but we'll make it work. That's the best thing to do. What was it again with Bob Ross? Happy accidents. There are no mistakes. It's just where it lives in your world. I know I wasn't talking about abstract, but I am. Let's see here. What else can I put in here? It's looking kind of like an octopus, or the Nautilus, maybe 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I remember reading that book and just be totally enthralled by it, just because I love I love that kind of a story, that fantastical, and there was so much about it because people hadn't seen everything. I mean, we haven't seen everything now even, but I think you know what I mean. There was so much unknown about the ocean, about the deep sea, And so things were just kind of, you know, they were more free to just kind of make stuff up. And be just more fantastical about it. And I think that's what I enjoy about old fantasy and science fiction before they knew better. It's probably not the right way to phrase it, but we're gonna stick with it. Some kind of loud engined vehicle. See, and so that gray it's still pretty dark, right? So let's see, what can we do? I could, well, no, I'm not going to do any pencil. Ooh, but you know what? Instead of that, let's take a black ballpoint pen, oil-based, and I can get some good, what do you call it, gradients. Got some eraser there. These ballpoint pens are so fun to draw with because they're oil-based. You can get all these really cool blendings, and you can have it, you know, lighter or darker. You can mix and match all of your textures. It blends very nicely. It's almost like a paint or even a pencil, you know. And with the added benefit of you gotta just put it down and go with it. If you put some ink down somewhere you didn't mean to, you've got to work it into your design. Because I'm not going to give up on a little sketch just because I put the ink in the wrong place. I'm just going to keep moving. And that is the best thing, I think. That's the best way to make your, what's the word? To improve your what? Your lines, because it forces you to put it down and be happy with it. And if you're not happy with it, to figure out a way to change it, to fix it. Because you can't go back and like erase or you can't just go, you know, erase it or take a digital lasso tool and maneuver it. Nothing against any of that at all. I enjoy digital art, but I really like the traditional. I like the feel, I like, you know, how you've got to keep going with it. You gotta maneuver, you gotta pivot, fix your shapes as you go. I'm not real happy with that. I think I shouldn't have pulled out the smaller pens. But like I said, it is what it is. I'm just gonna go with it. Let's see here. These are fun. Converging and diverging lines. These are a lot of fun. I shouldn't have said but when you're working with these things, they're interesting because you can make something look like it's in movement, in motion, and it's not, obviously. That was probably the stupidest thing I could say, but whatever. Let's see, what am I doing here? Do I want ink? Do I want... I have these things. They're not great. I mean, they're not great for this, I should say. Actually, here's what we're gonna do with this. If I can get this out from under here without dropping everything, that would be nice. Aha, I did. Okay, and then we're going to open up my Neil colors. I probably should just pull out now because those, okay, never mind. I was thinking about pulling out my oil pastels because I'm not going to be using any water on this one. But if I use the oil pastels, then they're going to cross over to the drawing on the other side and kind of defeats the purpose of what I'm wanting to do right now. I am going to cover up. Well, maybe I'll cover it up. Maybe I will just, I don't know. We're just gonna play with this and see what happens. Yep, it looks like I'm covering it up. Hey, there we go. There's your answer. It's being covered up before your very eyes. And yeah, you know, that could be a mistake, but it's now what lives here. You know what? And I'm happier with that because now we don't have that small line busyness over here. And if I were to add some water to it, that would be really thick black. Do I want to do that? Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm just going to go ahead and do it. You know what? That's going to make this run too, because it is not a waterproof, it's a water. Do I want to do that? I think. I don't know. I'm going to do this. Just on the edge here. And we will, let's just grab one of my pens here. Yeah, that'll be fine. Ooh, you can see the design again underneath there. You can see the design. That's kind of cool though, because it's hidden, but it's also there. We're gonna do a little bit of water on this as well. Hey, so after it dries, it doesn't do that anymore? That's interesting. That's not the experience I had with it before. But you know what? I'm gonna go with it. Kind of digging it. Okay. Ooh, this is longer than I intended it to be, but yeah, I'm having fun. So I'm just gonna keep on going. And that's another good thing about art. You can do what you want. If you're having fun with something, you can keep going. If you're not having fun with it, you can move on. You don't have to show your work to anyone, or you can show everyone, like I'm doing. Well, everyone that deigns to click on this, to click on my my video here, which I would appreciate more eyes on my videos. I really would, because I want to. That is very bright. I want to. Wow, I want to drop a bunch of stuff. Okay. I hope I didn't wake anyone up. I probably did. Okay. I want to have more of, like I said, a community of artists here, community of creative-minded people. I want to be able to share and let's see, what other colors am I going to use here? I got sidetracked from what I was saying. I want to be able to share my art, and I want to be able to talk to other people, create things, and people who don't, people who want to, and people who, I don't know. I think the world would be a better place if people did create more with their hands and actually making things. I just think that it's a very calming thing, and it helps. I think it helps people to connect with each other and with themselves, and I think it's just overall a positive thing. Ooh, that's pretty, isn't it? And hey, like I said, these pins, I have used them before, and maybe I just didn't let them dry fully, because this is definitely, the pen itself is not running, and I was just going to use it to the advantage, because I do like runny ink. And okay, so there's a little bit of runniness here because it's darkening my orange, but I think it's still good. I think it's still good. Let's see here. How far did that go back? Nope, it didn't even really go in. So we're gonna try something else. See, so you do get a little bit of run. Ooh, but I like it. It gives a shadow effect. It deepens it. Kind of like that. That's nice. Okay. What other color? I don't want to add too many colors because I don't want it to get all busy and weird. But, so, use the same purple that I used down there at the bottom. It's interesting. Look at that. That's kind of cool. And so, I would love if while I'm creating things, if you were creating something, and share with me what you're creating. Either tag me if you upload your things somewhere else, or share it in the community tab. I think you can share images in the community tab, right? I think you can. And if you can, please do. Of course, family friendly. I mean, it's art. It's if it's something that you can post on the tubes of you, then it should be fine to post in my community board. I don't think I should have any issues with anyone. I just want to see other people's work too, and maybe we can do. I don't know. Maybe we can do some kind of sharing back and forth. We can highlight other people, and we can be highlighted ourselves, and just have fun and learn something. I love. It's funny because I always hated school. I hated school. But I love learning. And I think a lot of people have had that same experience. Did not care for school, but loved learning. And I think it's important to be a lifelong learner. I think it's very important to keep learning, keep growing in knowledge and in wisdom. I think it's very important that we just keep our curiosity going. Stay curious. And if you come up with something that you're like, I wonder why it's like that, or I wonder where that came from, or where it's going, then you dig a little deeper and figure it out. I've always said I was a lover of etymology and entomology, psychology and sociology, and I love linguistics. Man, do I love linguistics. Etymology and linguistics, grammar, languages, being able to read, write. I would love to be able to speak, like have the, what would you call it? The confidence to speak with the languages that I've learned. And sometimes I do have a funny story of one time when I was working in a department store. I was helping a couple that spoke Spanish, and so I was speaking my limited Spanish, but I was able to have a good conversation. Far from fluent, but conversationally I was fine with that. And so then I was checking them out at the end, and I wanted to give them the receipt, and I kept calling it la receta, which believe that actually means recipe. So they were giving me kind of a funny look, but then they were smiling. They knew what I was talking about, but they didn't what's the word, correct me. And I wish they had, because I guess maybe that's a story that they tell, to this day. But I know I still tell my version of it, where I wish that they had corrected me. So if you're talking to someone that is trying to learn your language or trying to speak your language, and they say something like that, then please let them know, so they don't find out about it, years later, or maybe it wasn't even years later, but whenever it was long after that conversation. So hopefully I gave them a laugh and provided some kind of a funny story for them to share. So, okay, I did not intend to put that much color in it. I didn't intend to put any color in it. But there you go. There you go. So today is, well, it's after midnight. Was it the 16th? 17th? I'm gonna say it's the 17th. I think it is. 21726. There we go. We're gonna be done with it. Okay. I hope you had fun and that you created something along with me. Got something done along with me. And if you didn't, that's fine too. I appreciate you sitting and keeping me company, or allowing me to keep you company, I guess is more correct. We're just gonna go with that. And I guess that's it. Let's see if I can do this without destroying anything here. Okay, there we go. Okay, yep, look at those textures. Those are fun. They're not, exactly the textures I wanted, but isn't that cool? See, you can still see it through there because I added the water, and that actually makes it better. I like it better. Okay, so that is that. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have a beautiful evening, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.